Okay, so I wanted to review or just do a quick overview of a piece of software I've been looking at buying for well over a year. I like to make maps. I do a lot of fiction writing. I'm thinking about getting into writing a D&D campaign to run a group near here, and maps really help things out. So what I've been doing is just creating maps in Affinity Designer, bring it into Affinity Photo. That's a really nice workflow. I've got a couple commercial brush sets that I can use to make some really good, nice looking maps. And the benefit of that is I can actually put or edit things on my iPad and use my pencil to go stuff. And so it works pretty good. But I can't make maps look as good as this app that's on screen here, Wonderdraft. And so I've put off buying it for, like I said, well over a year. Picked it up this week. I've made 2 maps with it, just kind of playing around to see, how things work. Been watching YouTube videos on it forever, and so now I'm kind of looking at it. I'm going to give a quick overview for that. So here's the nice little menu. Sorry for all the breath sounds. And I'm going to go to New. Opens up this very nice just dialogue. One thing I want to point out is that Wonderdraft runs on Windows, Mac, Linux. Actually, should be really the way it feels. It should be Linux, Windows, Mac, because it feels more like a Linux native application that's kind of been developed with a cross-platform toolset, which is great. Works the same on each, but when I'm running it on a Mac, so it doesn't quite feel Mac-like, it doesn't matter. The program's so powerful, it's absolutely amazing. So I love it, and that's not a knock. I love the fact that it's cross-platform. You can run it on anything. I want to get his name right. Mega Sploot, which is probably the greatest name ever, is really kind of cool. You see, there's some dragging issues with. But we're going to look at this, and I want to create a new map, and we're going to just do a small area. I'll probably do one island. So I'm going to create a 720p map. So it's 1280 by 720. We'll keep it in landscape, and then you have themes. We can change these themes as we go on. So eastward is the default right now. I'm going to set this up, and it's going to start as all water. So that looks kind of like ground, but that's all water. You can actually take this stain out of the map to make it look less antique. So these are the different themes that you have. So adventure is that. It kind of gives you a Tolkien-esque map, which I think is what I'm going to work on. I've been doing color maps, but there's black and white, obviously. Eastward, what we started with. Feudal, kind of cool water there. Imagination. I've done one map with this. Actually, I think I've done 2 maps with that. Then paper. It's another Tolkien-esque style map. Pastel. Deep stain on that one. Terra makes it look like Earth. And worn gives that nice old antique-y sense. I'm going to go back to imagination. I kind of like this one. You can change the coastline color. You can change the color of the water. There's different colors for freshwater and for saltwater. That's really kind of cool. I'll show you that in a little bit. But right now, all I have is ocean. You can see all the little squiggly waves there. So you can go over here on the side, and you can click to your landmass generator. You can actually say what type of landmass you want. Continent, I can never pronounce that word. Archipelago, whatever. An atoll, which is kind of a circular world. Whole world map, equal rectangular, which you can actually put that into one of those maps that actually sets it up, maps it onto a globe. That's good if you're kind of just doing biome maps. So really kind of cool. I'm not going to use the wizard right now. I have used it for a couple things, and it works really well. It's kind of nice. Actually, here, let me just show you the word I don't know why I can't pronounce that. It's like a brain fart. So generate, and you can change the water level. So you can bring it up, bring it down, bring it all around, which is kind of fun. You can invert it, so we want just kind of a little bit of salt water there. You can change the roughness, which is what the coastline looks like, and actually up and lower the detail. So that's kind of fun. And I'll give you an atoll too. Kind of that's this, like the atolls out in the Pacific. Uniform. That's for a nice little low area battle map. and a continent. So that's the continent. So that's kind of cool. It really it works well. And you can try to go through and look at different seeds. So don't skip the one that you like though, because then you never get back to it because it's kind of randomly generated. I like to have one all. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start from scratch. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna make my eraser really big. You can use the square bracket keys to do it. Actually, I want to see something here. I've changed my. No, okay. So now I have a blank canvas again, and this is your landmass brush. So again, I'm going to make that really nice and big. I want to make a continent. And look how awesome my continent is. I'm going to make the brush smaller. Make a little peninsula over here. That looks so natural. We'll bring this down. We'll color all that in. So there we go. That just looks like absolutely natural. That's amazing, right? Not so fast. He kind of looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters now. Maybe I'll keep that. It's fun. Here's really where the magic is, and this is something that I can do in Affinity Photo. I just get an eraser brush and do a rough eraser and kind of go around the edge of the landmass that I'm doing. But this is raised landmass and lower landmass. Let me zoom in here, and you can change your roughness. I like kind of rough coastlines because I'm from Jersey, not from Jersey, I'm from Philly. So I like barrier islands. It's just kind of the way I am. Okay, so what I've done is I've sped up this part of the demonstration to 400%. So it does not move this fast, but it is this intuitive. I changed the size of the brush up and down. I changed to the roughness up and down, and you'll see in the south of the island a lot of barrier islands, and it just goes through the entire thing. And that's really kind of just what you have to do. And it creates that really nice pattern, which we'll see in a second. So it looks like an interesting coast, but now you zoom back out and you begin to see what the heck is going on. It was just that looked like a, Slimer from Ghostbusters. I'm going to change this. I don't like that as a right angle. There we go. It looked like Slimer from Ghostbusters, and now it looks like an actual island, which is really kind of cool. And people have different workflows that they want to do for Wonderdraft. What I like to do after I shape my landmass is I like to paint in where I want different elements to go. And the reason why I like to do it is because I think it blends better when you start putting symbols on top of it if you blend it right to begin with. At least that's what I've found. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go to the land. I'm still in land, and this is your paint land brush. One thing I would love to do is I would love to actually save a set and have it just be universal across my maps. There might be possible. Again, I've just started using this, so I'm going to take a dark brown color. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the opacity way down. What I would do with if I was using Affinity Photo, I would change the blend mode. So. And I don't like how big that is. So this is kind of going to be islands. Or islands, this is going to be mountains. Go across down through there. And I don't mind that it's not uniform. In fact, I want it to not look uniform. The less uniform it is, the better it looks. these are going to be hills, but I'll put that up there. A couple of spots there that I'll fix in a little while. That's kind of where I'm going to put the mountain range. I may, and now what I'm going to do is, again, my brush opacity is down really low, but I'm going to push a kind of a pass there. This is going to be nice and green. And the reason why I have the opacity down is because then it gives me a little more control. I don't have to go back and blend as much later. I'll show you how I do that. And this is not going to be like the Arctic. This is going to be maybe a little less green. Forest down the south and more savanna plains up north. That's kind of what I'll do. Over there. All right, so doesn't that look incredible? I'm being completely facetious right now. Let's add another color. I'm going to go with the little lighter brown. And we'll go here. I'm going to change to this kind of cloudy brush. No. Brush velocity. That's not behaving. Not behaving at all. Let's add another. I'll turn the alpha down on the color. So I'm using a brush opacity, and now the color has an opacity too, which will give it a much more. So you see it kind of blends down into the green now. Okay. So I got that. Let's take symbols. This is where things get fun. So you have kind of buildings, you have trees, you have mountains, you have the eraser, and then you can move each individual symbol, which is really kind of cool. So I like to start with the mountains, although, you know what? I'm backing up. Everyone that I've ever watched has said you should probably start with river. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put the rivers in because so much of what the river landscape runs around rivers, and of course where you put the buildings is. And I had that nice bay there, so I have a river going down there. And this is the river tool. It just kind of runs like a path tool in Affinity Photo or Photoshop or anything like that. You can change the distance and the roughness, or the width. You know, if you wanted like the Mississippi, like I'll show you real quick. Let's make a huge run. Sputnik. Okay, people who got that. So that looks terrible, but we'll just get rid of it. So you can change the width. You can change the meander distance so it doesn't kind of wind as much. 4 is the default. That seems to work pretty good. I haven't really played with the meander distance much. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I don't think lowering the meander distance looks all that good. That was not too bad. Let's put it back up. Make it a little more even. We'll go there. So we got some rivers, you know, maybe there's some springs bubbling up through the mountain range on this island. And maybe the north isn't quite as dark green because it's only got, you know, one river running through it, that sort of thing. Types of things that you look for. Now we'll go to symbols. And I like these inked or penciled. You can download a whole bunch of custom assets yet. I've not even explored it, so I can't really go into it. And you have large and small. So, and you can start dragging across, which is kind of cool. And you see how it's picking up the color from beneath? I really like that. One of the things that I really like is you can change the placement density and the placement rate and the scale. So if I want to do the rate down lower, it's going to do much more scattered mountains depending on how I move them. Smaller mountains here. Let's put some. What do I want to put? Put some hills here. So want to have like the go back to the mountains. One of the cool things is if you have a wheel mouse, you can just scroll through the wheel mouse and it'll change the symbol that's getting placed there. On my Mac, I can hold the Option key and it actually changes the orientation. It mirrors it. On my Mac trackpad, however, if I have two fingers, it just scrolls through the map. And I don't mind that because it also allows me to do the pinch in and out feature that I just love with Mac trackpads. So what I did is I went and got a thing called Better Touch Tool. And what I did is I set up a function that if I swipe up or down with 5 fingers while holding the control key, it swipes through. And there we go. And see how it go like this. Okay, it's smaller because I want that to kind of blend into the hills. There we go. Go back to the hills here. Bring that up. And see that symbol went on the edge? I can just grab, this is the symbol move tool. I can just grab it and move it over, which is really nice. Go right back to here. You don't necessarily, I try to jiggle a little bit. And that, again, I'm doing this quick, so I would not put that many hills like that, or I might put a different style of mountain if I was doing something slowly, if it was for something. And I'll put some mountains here, or some mountains, I'll put some hills here. Maybe make them bigger. So they're coming out of kind of the foothills of the mountains where that brown is. And you can see it goes down into the green. And it's what I want, because I want it to look like it's blending. You know, the landscape is sloping down to the plain on the coast. I like to put some hills around rivers, because rivers flow with the landscape. That got placed a little bit, so I'm going to move it there. And that's nice. All right, now let's go have some fun. I want to make this not tropical, but not... That's a little big, right? Let's shrink that down. There we go. And watch, this will take the color from behind it. I think I'm having a little problems with starting the draw because I'm recording at the same time as I'm doing this. And then let's put grass up top. So grass is here. Again, I want to kind of make this, savanna type area. This is just quick and dirty. But quick and dirty, are you kidding me? And I don't like the way these hills look. So we're going to delete. There's the delete symbol. We'll go back and we'll put some mountains in. Let's see if... Oh, that's the problem with the 5-finger swipe. There we go. I want that peninsula to be relatively uninhabitable. That's the idea, and I'm getting there. Okay. Not much up there, it's just rocky. So, real quick, it looks kind of nice. Then we can get to cities. Now, this is a close map. What I've noticed is that on larger maps, I like to do just the circles for cities and stars for capitals and that sort of thing. But even the basic set for Wonderdraft has some really nice. One of the things that I don't like Mac is I can't scroll through here on this dialogue for some reason. But they have some really nice kind of city blocks. Hamlet block. We'll put it there, right behind that tree. Isn't that nice? They're hanging out by the water. It's a little port town. Not a big city. This isn't a big island. Maybe we'll put a the king. That's a little big, right? The castle's up here, and we'll do a little mining village up there. And it's kind of cool because there's actual mine icons you can stick in too. You can see there's farms. There's little hamlet villages, so you can stick like a village on top there, or you can build it one building at a time. You can see that my castle's not quite the same size. It looks a little weird. Little storehouse. They hang out on the river, right? I didn't put one of these yet. There we go. So they kind of hang out there, and I don't like the grass being right there, so I'll just move that. Oh. Where's my move tool? There we go. So again, now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 settlements. It's kind of fun. Go back here to the basic symbols. And let's put a mine in where the miner is. Of course, we don't want it to be that big. We do want it to stay brown. There's a nice little mine. If you're doing a campaign, you can stick a dungeon in there. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. Here's a ruins, or a ruin of an old tower. Over there, don't go there. That's dangerous. Put something way at the top. And let's see, that symbol doesn't look right. So we'll move it. And maybe there's like a secretive sect. And for those, I like these towers. They kind of hang out here, do their own thing. Nobody knows what they're about. All right. You can do paths. You can do, roads between things. You can stick bridges on. I'm sure you've seen. There's compass roses. Actually, I'm going to get a simple one. There's a nice little compass rose. Put that right there. It's kind of fun. All right, and then we can do labels. If you want to do paths, that's this. And you can do regions as well. So if I wanted to set like this is a kingdom and this is a kingdom, you can trawl around it. Really kind of fun. But let's just do labels right now. Here's the text label. What's this? That's the box. There's a box tool too. So, city. And we're going to click port. Here I am. There we go. That's the default for city. A little big for this size map, so we're going to change it to 20. You can change the curvature and change the angle like this. If you used any sort of graphic software ever, this just makes perfect sense. I'm going to curve it the other way. There we go. And let's do another one. You were fun. There we go. It's finish, I think. I don't know. Curve it down that way. Like that. And another one. You can change your different things. I'm going to show you that in a second here. Change your font color. You can change the outline and that sort of stuff. Castle, give me more. Okay. And see, there's not really a good way to put this that doesn't block stuff, especially because it's a longer name. So why don't we just take out gimme more, or castle, we'll just call it gimme more. There we go. We're going to get really original names. Except, here's the thing. You don't have an idea for a name? Well, Wonderdraft gotcha. Settlements, name generator. Hit that little question mark. Now it's Penta Wharf, which actually sounds really cool. So I'm going to keep that. And let's change to here. And this is not really a big settlement. It's small. So we're just going to call it a little town. You're going to see how it's smaller. Well, it's not now because I need to change it, but the color's changed. So let's go through the name generation. Slaughter Den. That's good. Gale Pole. No. Tundra Knoll. No. Plasterhood. Brother Abbey. Wildernest. Pilfer Forest. Let's do that. I love that. And we'll change this to 18. There we go. So now I can change the outline color and the font color. So let's make the font color a white. And let's make the outline color kind of a deep blue. And we can alpha it out a little bit. And you can change the width of the outline. So I'll make it 5, just to let people know that it's smaller. Pilfer Forest. That's awesome. The other thing that I did not look at so far was something for water, because there's no lakes. Let's do a lake. A couple different ways to create lakes. First is, this is the lake tool. You change the size of the brush. There you go. Again, if you have a wheel mouse, you can scroll through and get different shapes. And that's kind of cool. And you can build lakes to come up with different things. And you can see it, put it behind the symbols. The other way you can do it is with the freshwater brush. Again, put the roughness up. I'm going to zoom in here and say I want kind of this glacier to come and that feeds that lake. Let's put one here with these little copse of trees. And this one just goes straight out. So just little ways to look up stuff or to change stuff, which is kind of nice. And nobody's living up this way. So I mean, it's really cool. And then you can change the labels for the seas or whatever. But that was not that long. Maybe you were bored to tears. I don't know. But you created a semi-decent map just by playing around. I had no idea what I was going to do when I started. And that looks really nice.